wondered how police officers and investigators know that they have the right suspect in custody? The reason behind this is because of trace evidence and physical evidence. My goal today is to inform you of how police officers collect several types of physical evidence. The methods that I will be talking about are the best ways to prevent contamination and loss of evidence. I'm credible to speak on this topic because I have taken a class that has taught me how to do most of these things, along with doing research on it. Most of my information that I am going to tell you about today came from the book that I used in my forensic science class. The title of this book was called Criminalistics: An Introduction to Forensic Science. I will be discussing how to collect fingerprints of biological evidence and hair and fiber evidence. The first and one of the most popular types of evidence you hear about on TV is fingerprint evidence. Though you do hear about it a lot, it is not as common as you think. It's a very messy process, so you can't actually use it as much as you would think. The things that you need for it is a black or gray powder, or sometimes white, not as often, a fiber brush, and lifting tape. Sometimes you'll also use a high-powered camera. If the print is already visible, you will take a picture of the print with the high-powered camera and lift it with the lifting tape. If it is not, you must use a fiber brush and dusting powder to try to find a print that is usable. If you do find one, you take a picture of it and you lift it with the lifting tape. The next type of evidence collection I'm going to inform you of is biological evidence. Biological evidence is usually evidence that comes from the body, such as blood and saliva. Biological evidence is sometimes on things that you can take with you to the lab. When it is on something like this, you take it with you. If it's a shirt or clothing that has blood on it, you'll let it dry and then you'll put it in a paper bag, in individual paper bags. If you can't take the object with you, you'll photograph it. If you can lift the stain with tape, you'll do that. If you have to scrape the stain, you'll scrape it into a paper envelope, or you can absorb the stain with a Q-tip. The last form of evidence collection that I'm going to inform you of is that of hair and fiber evidence. Fiber and hair evidence is more common. You use disposable forceps and you put the fiber or the hair into a paper package and then into an envelope with your evidence on it. One method that we learned in class is called the Druggist fold method. The Druggist fold method is very easy, and you just use a normal piece of paper. You put the evidence in the center, and then you fold the paper around the evidence into 2 slices, like this. Then you fold it in 3 more quarters, 1 up, and then 1 down, and you tape the top. Tape it shut to make sure nothing falls out. I learned about this method in class, but you can also find information on it in the Dictionary for Forensic Science online. In conclusion, today I informed you of how professionals collect physical and trace evidence from the scene of a crime. Always remember that if you are at the scene of a crime, not to touch anything. This is only the job of law enforcement and investigators. Thank you.
And we're here, as always.